Healing the sister wound via the dark goddess. I think this is a conversation we should have had a long, long time ago, but I'm really excited that we're here now and doing this conversation. I think every single woman, every single person who primarily identifies as feminine would be served really well by at least looking at our relationship to the feminine. So when I talk sister wound, I want to encompass all of the feminine. My feminine in relation to the feminine in my mom, my feminine in relation to the feminine in my masculine partner, my feminine in relation to my girlfriend, my sister, my daughter. Really looking at all aspects of feminine to feminine relationships. Now, this conversation, it's free reign, and it won't be for everybody. I'm going to say that right up front. If we're going to work sister wound via the dark goddess, I'll also say there's many ways to work sister wound. I think sister wound via the dark goddess is like ripping the Band-Aid off, and it's showing you parts of the wounding, and I don't necessarily like the wounding, the belief systems, the thought patterns, all of that's included in this. The places where we cannot love, the places where we would rather compare, compete, disempower another woman than empower her, than stay open-hearted, genuinely loving, and genuinely supportive of her full expression of self. And working with the dark goddess shows us hidden places within self where we don't know that we're doing that. We are unconsciously disempowering another person. We are unconsciously taking their legs out from underneath them in some way. And so this will be an in-your-face conversation. It comes with absolute love, though. So the dark goddess, right? It's a feminine archetypal energy that is pure love. It is pure love, but it's like fierce love. It's love with fire. It's love with passion. It's love that knows no bounds, knows no limits, doesn't play by any rules. And she really loves rapid, quick transformation. She's like, we don't have time to play out sister wounding anymore. We just don't have time. Why are you wasting your life comparing yourself to another woman? Why would you waste energy thinking about someone else's success and how that rubs you wrong, right? I also see, I've been running women's circles for years and years and years and years and years and years now. I've been working with feminine archetypal energies, sister wounds, witch wounds, mother wounds, father wounds, sexual wounds, union wounds, relationship wounds, for a long, 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 long time. So this kind of comes from a lot of years of experience of that, and really holding this journey sacred, this sister wound healing, this feminine wounding. It's a feminine wounding. I mean, we can say sister wound, but I think sometimes we say sister wound and it's just like rolls off the tongue and we roll our eyes and we're like, well, blah, I don't have that, or we don't really relate to it. So let's call it feminine to feminine, less than the highest level of relationship it can be at. Really and truly, that's what we're talking about. That's what's on the table here. Feminine to feminine relationship, moving it to the next highest level of expression. That means all of us. That means no matter what high level of expression you have right now, between feminine to feminine relating, there is a higher level. Human consciousness is constantly expanding. Our capacity to come into higher right relationship, next highest right relationship, is constantly expanding. It's constantly evolving. And so no matter where we're at on this path, may this conversation serve. May these practices or archetypal energies or tools or whatever we get into in this conversation, may they serve to up-level all of us in our feminine to feminine relating. I also think that talking about something is one thing. Putting something into practice is a complete another thing. Mentally cognizing it versus embodying it and becoming it is a completely different thing. If we're talking about feminine to feminine, it is an embodiment. The feminine path is an embodied path. It is completely embodying. And so may this also go beyond just talk, beyond just thinking about it, beyond just this mental realm. May this drop into our hearts. May this drop into our wombs, our bellies, our bones, our blood. May this conversation drop into all of that. Let's talk a little bit about the dark goddess. One of the faces of the dark goddess is Great Mother. Now, there's nothing that Great Mother does not love. Great Mother literally looks at the entire world and goes, everything in this world is my child. Everything. Everything is my child. There is nothing that I cannot love. I love all of my children. I love all of my children. Now, what if you stood in the energy of Great Mother? Great Mother, right? Black Madonna, Durga. These are like great mother, dark mother figures, right? Dark Mother refers to loving everything, including that which we think is unlovable, including that which, it's not dark bad, it's dark potent, dark everything, dark the things that most people seemingly cannot love. And so just sit in that energy for a minute, right? If this is embodiment, this is the dark goddess, she's going to want you to embody this level of love. And so you just sit back in that energy of Dark Mother, Great Mother. And you just literally look at every single woman, every single feminine essenced being on this planet, and you go, they're my children. They're my children. How could I not love them? Think of the woman in your world that you most rub up against, that most rubs you wrong, that most drives you crazy. Feminine essence. Think of that person. Think of that woman. That's your child. As you embody Great Mother energy, that's your child. That's your child. And you have mother love. You have mother love for that human being. That beautiful expression of the divine. There's nothing but love and reverence. So what if your little personality rubs wrong against their personality? So what if they've done you wrong? So what? There is this capacity to love. Great Mother, Dark Mother, love the unlovable. The person who has done you the most wrong, the feminine essenced being who has done you the most wrong, you have the capacity to love them. Maybe that was your mom. Maybe this started as an infant. Maybe that was your mom. Maybe that was your sister. Maybe it was a friend. Maybe it's just some woman who just really raked you over the coals, right? Put you in court, sued you, did unthinkable things to you. Love, really and truly, it's a choice. Really and truly, everything else is an excuse to not love. Everything else is a closure to not love in this moment. Everything else. But, don't care. Love, it's a higher level love. Most people don't want to go here. But going here is freedom. It's not just freedom for them. It's freedom for you. It's freedom for you. It's a healing for you on a much deeper level than just this relationship. On a much deeper level than just this relationship. It's love. It's unconditional, huge, big love. All right, that's one capacity. Big deep breath, letting that go. You can always pause here, right? You may have to go through that section 10 times. You might want to go through it with 10 different people, right? Go through it. Let it be guided, right? Keep repeating that over and over and over. Pick the next person, pick the next person as you go through it. All right, that's one aspect, right? So in ReWilding, we work with, minimum 36 main archetypal energies. That's one. That's an aspect of the dark goddess in Great Mother form, Black Madonna form. Okay, Medusa. Really want to talk about Medusa. Medusa is another dark goddess, another archetypal energy. Great sister wound healing capacities with Medusa. So feeling into the Medusa myth, feel into this. Medusa was literally cast out of society, demonized, turned into a gorgon, a monstrous being because of her sexuality. Because of her feminine sexual essence, she was sleeping with Poseidon. Feminine sexual essence, she got demonized. She got cast out of society, thrown out of the temple of Pallas Athena for her beauty, essentially, her feminine radiance, her feminine sexual expression. Now, she did take a vow to be celibate, and she did break that rule. But when we feel into this, we can feel into the denial of a feminine aspect, right? Told to deny a feminine aspect, my fullness of sexuality, my fullness of radiance, my fullness of beauty. How many of us can relate to this? Being beautiful, I get judged by other women. Being really sexual, I get judged by other women. This is a perfect archetypal energy to work with. If any of that comes up, or vice versa, you see a beautiful woman and you contract. You see a beautiful woman and you instantly judge her. You see a woman who's walking, hips swaying, sexual energy just flowing, and you judge her. You judge her. You demonize her. You're playing the Pallas Athena part. You're playing the Pallas Athena part, where you cannot stand that woman's sexual energy. You cannot stand her radiance. You cannot stand her beauty. That's okay. There's no judgment in this. This is honest truth. Dark goddess. We're in dark goddess energy. This is healing the sister wound with the dark goddess, right? There is no time and there is no room for feeling shame, for feeling guilty, for judging ourselves. This is just, we're being honest. Like, if there's any gift that we can give ourselves, it's to just be honest about it. Like, wow, yeah, sometimes I see a really beautiful woman and I want to tear her the fuck down. Be honest about it. That's the first step to healing this, is to be fucking honest about it, to stop denying it, to stop pretending that you're not throwing daggers through your eyes into her face, right? On the flip side, where you shrink your beauty, you hide your beauty, you deny your radiance because you don't want to be judged. You don't want to feel those daggers from another woman, so you hide it. Again, there's no time for judgment. There's no time to sit and wallow in that. It's to just be really honest about it. This is confession time. This is confession with the dark goddess. You are sitting in the confessional booth and the dark goddess is sitting on the other side of that screen and she's going, give it to me, sister. Like, lay it on me. I can love it all. I want to hear it all. I want to hear every confession. Here's power practice number 1 for healing the sister wound. Write all of this down. Be so honest, be so real. When I see a woman really succeeding, it drives me insane. When I see a rich woman, when I see a really pretty woman, when I see a woman hip swaggering, walking through the world, right? I just cannot stand it. But I pretend like it's fine. I falsely compliment her. I falsely smile. Her radiance makes me shrivel. Now what about this? What if her radiance ignited and inspired your radiance? That's the gift of the feminine. This is the feminine to feminine gifting. Your radiance inspires her radiance. Your success inspires her success. Her success inspires your success. Her beauty inspires your beauty. Her sexual fullness and sexual gifting inspires your sexual fullness and sexual gifting. This is the place that we want to get to. This is the place that we want to get to, where the tide rises, all ships rise as the tide rises. That, we hold that in our reality, right? My radiance rises, her radiance rises. My wealth rises, her wealth rises. My empowerment rises, her empowerment rises. And for it to be so clean, so clear, so crisp, so pure, so fucking genuine, right? And step 1 is confessing where we're not that. And it's okay. It's okay. You were taught to be something other than that. You absorb conditioning, ancestral patterning in school. We were all taught that. It's okay. So no judging of self. Don't judge self, because you'll just end up shoving it back in the shadows. You'll just end up shoving it back under. What we want to do is we want to allow this stuff to come up to the surface, to breathe, to see the light of day. To breathe, right? Let it come up to see the light of day. Let these patterns, these wounds, these judgments, these contractions, let them come up to see the light of day. So you might want to pause here, write your list while we're in the energetics before we move on, or keep coming. You can come back and replay this and watch this, or you could write your list during that little section if you want to come back and replay it. I want to go back to this myth. I want to go back to the Medusa myth. So Medusa demonized for feminine radiance, sexuality. And yeah, she did break a vow. That's also part of it. But I do want to focus on the then being cast out and being demonized, being turned into Gorgon, that if you look at her, she will turn you to stone, right? That was a feminine. That was a feminine to feminine wounding right there. Feminine to feminine. Here's what I will do. Here's what I will do to totally disempower you, to take that gift away from you. Some of us sit with this stuff, not just in this life, but in past lives. Some of us sit with this stuff in our ancestral line. Some of us sit with this stuff as just some like weird karmic freaking blueprint that we don't necessarily know where it came from. So don't think, well, I didn't really have any bad experiences with my mom or as a child or with other women in this life. Don't think you're not still carrying a wound around just because you can't remember it from this life. This transcends, far transcends, right? Some of us just came in with like deep feminine wounding. We got hurt. Like the feminine hurt us. Like maybe you in this moment are relating to Medusa and you're like, yeah. Last lifetime that I actually fully stepped into my gift and my radiance and my sexuality, I was thrown out of the community. I was completely demonized and I was stripped of every single gift that I had ever had. So Medusa is a dark goddess. Kind of the theme of our conversation here is healing the sister wound through the dark goddess. And so what if you were to feel into Medusa, and what if you were to take the masks off? What if you had the power, right? We all have an enormous amount of power. Part of working with the archetypal energy of Medusa, the Shakti of Medusa, part of that is to to far out. Sorry, the energy just starts to roll through me and enliven and like go wild in me. But the energetics of Medusa, right? She's a Shakti. She's a high, mystical, sacred, feminine archetypal energy. And one of the gifts that she brings to us is incredible amounts of healing around our true selves and around the masks that we wear and how we dull or shine and dim ourselves. And so maybe just feeling into that, here's practice number 2. Take off the masks. Stop wearing the masks. What if you stop limiting yourself? What if we stop blaming it outside of ourselves? What if we stop blaming Pallas Athena? Well, Pallas Athena cursed me. I don't know, probably in this lifetime, Pallas Athena probably didn't curse you. You're probably not walking around with snakes for hair. You're probably not having the capacity, although I do see a lot of women who have the capacity to turn a man into stone when he looks at her wrong, or to turn a woman into stone when she, or a person when they look at you wrong. I do see us having that capacity. I know I, in my stone cold self back in the day, really had that capacity to literally lock down and turn someone into stone, right? It's Medusa. It's like locked up, a lot of life force, a lot of juice, a lot of Shakti, all locked up. It's not been set free. But feeling into softening, removing the masks, having the choice, right? Going back to this, you're probably not cursed by Pallas Athena, probably not going around with snake hair. You probably don't have. What if you had that amount of power, which we all do, this amount of power to heal this just like that, right? Should this be something that you're working with, you could also be sitting with the Pallas Athena side of things, where you're the one cursing. You're the one having negative thoughts, right? Drop the sword, drop the negative thoughts, drop the cursing. So in this moment, you just drop it. You drop the mask where you're dulling your shine, dulling your radiance because you don't want to be cast out of society. Most of the time we play both of these roles, or we at least have the blueprint for both of them. We're maybe not acting them out, but we both sit on both sides of the power. It's the misuse of power or the disuse of power, let's just say. The misuse, the disempowering another, or the disempowering ourselves to fit in, right? All right. You can always stop here, pause here. You can kind of do an energetic practice, an embodiment practice, breath, movement, sound, really powerful when working with energetics. Archetypal activations, really powerful. The archetypal activation of the dark goddess or Medusa, really powerful in here. Pallas Athena, that archetypal activation, really powerful in here. If you have ways of doing that, go for it. That's a great way to drop into this. Otherwise, just meditate. Get real creative with it. Okay. What if in this moment you were to feel into your feminine. Your feminine, right? The sister in you. Just feel into the sister in you. All right? And you're to feel into your feminine, the sister in you, in relationship to the feminine outside of you. And you were to just allow there to be pure love flowing between your feminine and that feminine. Just pure love, pure respect, pure love. Now feel this. Feel this. This is a really powerful way to heal this wound. Ready for it? It will heal it. It'll take consistent practice in challenging situations, though. It'll take consistent practice in challenging situations, right? You get the little trigger, right? The little trigger of like the feminine to feminine, I don't know, comparing, competing, whatever it is for you, right? Like you want to tear her down or you want to, crumple in on yourself, whichever way it's showing up for you in that moment. And you just go, you feel into feminine to feminine, and you just let as much pure love just flow between the two of you. It's just pure love. And now this is the key. This is the key, right? I genuinely want the highest good for you. I genuinely want the highest good for you. I want the highest unfolding for you. From the deepest depths of my heart, the deepest depths of my soul, I genuinely want the highest unfolding for you. I want the highest good for you. I want the absolute best for you. I want the absolute best for you. That's what you flavor your love with. That's what you flavor your love with. I genuinely want the best for you. I genuinely want your greatest unfolding. Your greatest unfolding in this life. Greatest, fullest, most glorious expression of self in this life. I genuinely want that for you. Whether that be uber sexual, that be uber radiant, that be uber successful. I genuinely want that for you. I want your soul's blueprint to fully express itself. I want your soul's gift to fully express themselves. I want your heart to fully open. I want your life to be so aligned with what your soul came here to experience that it breaks my heart wide open. It breaks my heart. This is the love of the dark goddess. This is the fucking love of the dark goddess. It's accessing that within ourselves and letting that move through us. Every single time that we feel a closure with another woman, every single time we feel a closure with a sister, with a mother, with the feminine in our men, the feminine in those who identify as person, every single time, flip into that and hold that as a practice near and dear to your heart, right? In the moment, the more that we can do it in the moment, the moment you feel the closure, bang, open back up, love, feminine to feminine love, and then feel into that. I genuinely want the highest good. Imagine someone doing that to you when you're in a moment of closure. Imagine the gift being given to you from another woman, a sister, a man, a person who's embodying the feminine. Right? And you're in a moment of closure, a moment of judgment. You're judging them, and all that they do is stare back at you, saying, I genuinely want the best for you. Despite the fact that you're judging me, that you're trying to disempower me, I am not coming back at you with any disempowerment energy. I'm coming full force at you with full empowerment energy, full love, full holding of your highest unfolding. That's all I want for you. That'll change our world. That'll change your sister wound. Gone. That'll change your sister wound in the whole world. My gosh, it's amazing to be here with y'all. If you guys want more, Dark Goddess Workshop is available. There might be archetypal workshops, activations. We're working on all of them. We'll have Medusa, we'll have Pallas Athena, we'll have Black Madonna, we'll have all of that. But I know for right now, the Dark Goddess Workshop is available. You can go into that holding sister wound. You can hold sister wound, like I really want to work in an archetypal activation with the dark goddess, holding sister wound in your heart. So all you do, you just go, it's a $47 workshop, right? It's like nothing. You just hold that. I'm going to work with this. I'm going to work with this. I'm going to work with this. You light the candle, you set your sacred space, and you journey through that 1 hour exploration, activation of the archetypal energy of the dark goddess, holding sister wound. Holding sister wound in your heart. All right, that's if you want to journey further. Would love to see y'all in the comments. I'm always in there. The ReWilding team is always in there. It is a great honor to serve y'all in this way. Huge love. Huge fucking love. Let's shift this goddamn sister wound. If you're in, fucking leave a comment below. Like, I'm fucking in. I'm sick of this stuff. Like, Whatever you feel to write around that, that is a gift to every single woman, feminine essenced being, every single feminine in every single person, right? Leave a comment below. Leave a comment below that fucking supports that. Like, enough of this. Enough of this. All right. I love you all so much. I'll see you soon.